Hello and welcome everybody. We have the patch notes for NAEU September 4th. Let's get right into it. First off, we have some class changes for Ranger. On riding the wind, they've removed the collision while moving when using a skill. And on riding the wind and twisting wind, if the landing spot is more than 5 meters high in the air, the following animation will be displayed, but you can use it to descend slopes. On Awakening, the Chemosylvian Sword has been changed to activate the Forward Awakening switching motion when comboed from Evasive Landing Shot, and pressing LMB after switching to Awakening will combo into Breezy Blade, and they've improved to combo smoothly into other skills after activating the Awakening switching motion. Then we have Sork, the Midnight Stinger, Absolute Midnight Stinger, and Prime Midnight Stinger. They've removed the MP-based extra damage and adjusted the skill damage. So overall, we have the damage going up to 644, 761, and 3,279. And on Nightcrow, they've improved, so when using a skill while airborne and not consecutively, your character will always land safely. Then we have Berserker Evasion. They've increased the character's rotation speed based on the camera direction when used with your Iron Buster. Flow's Scattershot. They've increased the time your character can rotate based on the camera direction when comboing from other skills. And Flow Ancient Wave. They've increased the time your character can rotate as well on the camera direction during the attack motion after charging when using a skill. On Tamer, Prime Moonlit Strike. They've improved the skill combos so that after using a skill, pressing WRB now combos into Lightning of Earth instead of Scratch. You can still combo into Scratch after the skill with RB as before. Valkyrie Awakening, the Lancia training has been changed, so moving laterally with the skill will not activate an attack. Lateral movement will now match Valkyrie's slash motions when used with your main weapon, also improved to combo smoother into Awakening skills. Deadeye from A Canary with Love has been changed to the command LMB plus RMB. And then we have the big thing, Wukong has gotten its Rabam skills. So on level 56, here we can see a HP on hit skill with stiffness in PvE at 3,762, or Taste This, also Shift X, with a forward guard, floating on attack on PvE only, and no heal. Then on level 57, behind you, Shift Z is a super armor skill with PvE bound with 4,000% damage and a down attack. Soaring Nimbus Shift Z is a 7,600% damage with a 1,000 HP heal. The skill changes from super armor into invincible and then super armor again. And it also causes attack speed minus 15 for enemies within range and minus 15 movement speed for 5 seconds. Then on level 58, we have Drain Tusita's Gourd, and it pretty much applies the following to the Tusita's Gourd skill. So it's been changed to a range attack, and it attacks 2 times regardless of whether comboed with other skills, and applies attacks on targeted enemies and recovers 25% dough energy per attack on hit, and it recovers 250 HP per attack on hit. Or you can choose Fighting Buddha Incomplete, which can also be added to the quick slot. 5,000% damage, critical hit rate of 100, invincibility and super armor skill, with a stun on last hit in PvE only, and using the skill enters the Fighting Buddha state and restores 2,000 HP from Celestial Nectar's recovery effect, and the passive effects from Fighting Buddha are applied. Dough energy is not restored even if you use the Tusita's Gourd when entering the Fighting Buddha state with this skill. They've also added the Black Spirit Rage skills, so we have the 10% Black Spirit Rage skill, which is 9,200% with another 9,200, critical hit rate 100, and a super armor with no, PvE bound. Then we have the Black Spirit Upheaval, which is 7,300, 8,500, 10 targets, super armor, all evasion plus 40 for 20 seconds when using a skill, a PvE knockdown, and no character collision during the skill. The Shadow effect has 3,000% damage. And then we have the Black Spirit Rage 50%, the Scorch It All, with an attack damage of 8,500, and recover 100 HP per hit, super armor during the skill, and stun on the first hit, both PvE and PvP. For that, hold it. They've removed the stiffness on hits for PvP only. They've increased the skill movement distance as following: normal 35% more, fighting Buddha plus 15%. Movement distance is also increased accordingly when used during Flying Nimbus. And on Scorch, they've changed so stun on first hit applies for PvP only, and they removed stun on last hits when fighting in Buddha state. And Buddha's Finger, they've improved to now activate with LMB while airborne, even when holding W. Then we have general class changes, so Warrior Prime Evasion, they fixed an issue with the description skill, included details about a removed effect. Berserker Prime Fierce Strike, they fixed an issue where the cooldown did not apply when only attack 2 was performed. Valkyrie, Absolute Valkyrie Slash, they fixed an issue where the key guide did not include instructions for moving laterally. Valkyrie Celestial Cry, they fixed an issue where the all DP increase effect applied to nearby allies and self would stack with other DP increase effects. Ninja Prime Evasive Shuriken Malice, they fixed an issue where the description mentioned an incorrect number of hits. Wizard Witch Mana Absorption, they fixed an issue where the description incorrectly stated that it absorbs skill resources from targets, which does not actually occur. Guardian Black Spirit Prime Claw Reveal, they fixed an issue where the down attack damage increase effect was not applied when using the skill. Scholar Float Gold Continuum, they fixed an issue where the description of the skill's PvP damage ratio was displayed excessively long. Wukong, they've improved your character's movement to appear more natural when rotating left or right using A and D keys while sprinting out of combat. Wukong, again, they fixed an issue where you would perform Power Pole Mastery instead of the skill after having comboed certain other skills with Ignite while fighting in Fighting Buddha state. Wukong, Tusada's Gourd, they fixed the Gourd's appearance to be more natural during the ending animation, and they updated the skill descriptions to correctly display damage reduction instead of DP. Speaking about DP, the Magic Crystal Balance Adjustment falls into that. The following crystals, the Magic Crystal of Abundance Armor, Infinity Armor, Ancient Magic Crystal of Abundance Armor, the Dark Red Fang Crystal Armor, Black Magic Crystal Cobalenius, and the Jin Bon Wan versions of the same crystal have now been moved into a joint group of increased damage reduction with a max of 2 crystals possible. To make the transition smoother with the changes brought by this update, the aforementioned 8 crystals transfused in your crystal presets were moved to the Black Spirit save, so you need to reset these if you have any of these in your sets. They've also changed the stats of the following magic crystals. So before, it was all damage reduction plus 3 on the Stalwart Fortitude, Dog Patience, and Unyielding Spirit. This is now monster damage plus 5. They also changed the stats of the Black Magic Crystal Armor from an all damage reduction plus 2 to a monster damage reduction plus 3. They also removed the 3 Red Battlefield Crystal, Adamantine, Fighting Spirit, and Giant from the AOS shoot slot. And they changed the stats from the AOS shoot slot, missing Captain's Crystal Sale, from all resistance plus 10% to plus 350 HP, so you may need to correct that as well. They've also unified the format of weight limit mentioned in items from the old weight limit plus 50 to pretty much say weight limit plus NLT to make it more clear. They also added the following item to the list of items in the Chlorins bag description, which is the transferable bag for items. They've added the Laughing Bed Mountain's upgraded telescope, and they changed Chlorins travel bags to no longer store barter goods. If you have any further questions, they do say please contact support. Monster Zone wise, Aetherion Castle is getting a tiny change, which was not on global. They changed the Dark Touched Root Spirit to now remove and reset all summoned monsters after a certain period following the summoning of Maraka. So you do need to kill Maraka in a certain time frame, unsure on the actual length. On Nymphomari Castle, they changed the Koronaga Chief Shamans, Lookouts, and Tricksters to spawn faster. They also fixed an issue where the Chief Shamans, Lookouts, and Tricksters return to awkward positions when moving back to their original positions. They've also changed the Naga Tricksters to now approach slightly closer to better hit their targets. And they changed defeating the... they've added a change that when you defeat the Chief Shaman, you reduce the morale of nearby Lookouts and Tricksters, decreasing their DP. And also, when you defeat a single Coral Dreamfish, it will now take down all nearby fish as well. On Orbita Castle, we have much more changes. So they've changed the AP conditions for activating the destruction state of the Grave of Light and Faith. So it used to be HP under 50, now it's under 75. And on the Grave of Faith, the orange one, it used to be HP under 30%, this is now under 65%. The HP has been increased by 100% though, so the damage required for destruction should remain the same. They also changed the Grave of Light to now properly change status and or summon Grave Wardens upon destruction. They've reduced the distance strayed by Titans and Gravekeeper Golems before returning to their original positions. They fixed certain Titan attacks to now activate properly. They've improved warning indicators for the Titan and Gravekeeper Golem attacks to now match the actual timing. They've improved the Gravekeeper Golem's basic attack pattern to no longer appear awkward. Also, the Grave Wardens to spawn in groups of 8, regardless of whether the Gravekeeper Golem is defeated. They reduced the Gravekeeper Golem's detection range by approximately 40%. They've increased the time it takes for the Gravekeeper Golem to vanish while idle from 1 minute to about 2 minutes. And they updated the conditions for self-destruction mechanics of the Grave Warden of Dawn and Dusk in certain situations. So they've now changed it that the Grave Warden of Dawn and Dusk now disappears only when idle in combat or after being hit, instead of vanishing instantly when the mechanic succeeds. They also fixed an issue where the Titan could collide or be hit while invisible. They've also updated the following monsters to display the proper monster grade in the UI. The max AP limit and ratio remains unchanged, so on Etherian Castle, the UI grade has been changed from normal to rare for the mutated Maraca and possessed Maraca. On Nymphomare Castle, normal to rare for the Coral Naga frontliner. There's also a UI grade change from normal to rare for the Titan and the Gravekeeper Golem, and from rare to normal for the Orbita Grave of Light and Grave of Faith. And Elvio Ezekiel from normal to rare for Al-Qaeda, and rare to normal for the Centaurian, Spearan, and Leos. And finally, for the weekly for the Throne Nymphomare, they've reduced the HP of Rizalka by another 20%. They've also added some new quests. There's now weekly quests to the Edania Monster Zones. You can find them in the Recurring tab, Combat Purify Edania Quest Group. You get a weekly Purification quest for all 3 locations. At the Failed Edana, you pretty much kill monsters to the local zone in different amounts, and you will get some Wand, Bon, or Jin Crystals of Ruin, and some Primordial Fragments or Crystallized Energy of End Times. They've also added the AP and DP requirements to the description for the weekly For the Throne quests, and they added the option to skip all cutscenes when crafting Edana defense gear. NPC Background and Sound, they updated some terrain around Honglim Base monster zones, so they've adjusted the position of nearby boars as well to better fit the updated landscape. So here we can see some of these changes of different road patterns and just in general grass patterns. They've also improved the placement of footholds in the Lidovan Mountains for easier climbing. They also made it easier to locate the Adana's Fragment NPCs on the world map, and they added knowledge for the Adana's Fragments. They've also upgraded the NPC find feature, so you can actually look for the Adana's Fragment if you have the knowledge. Node in Conquest Wars, they've adjusted the 4 tiers for each node in occupation mode. So here we can see tier 3, 4, and 5 for the different regions, and here we have Balenos, Serendia, Calphion, Camasilvia, Medaya, Valencia. If you want to, you can follow the link in the description if you want to get the details on this, or just pause the video. They've also adjusted the tier and participation limits for each node in construction mode. Tax rates for each region have also been adjusted accordingly. So we have Balenos and Serendia with a max gear score of 616. Then we have Medaya with a max gear score of 720, and Valencia with a max gear score of 720. Calphion with no stat limit, and Camasilvia also with no stat limit. Then we also have some stat limit changes. So tier 1 limited node wars, the stat limits have been changed as follows. So the recommended gear score, as you notice up top, has been changed to 616. The accuracy has gone down to 650, damage reduction up to 335, and the damage reduction rate up to 20%. Tier 2 limited node war stats have been changed from accuracy has gone down to 820, damage reduction has gone up by 30 to 530, and tier 1 limited Conquest War stat limits are now 680 accuracy and 410 damage reduction. And the tier 2 limited Conquest War stat limits have been changed from an accuracy down to 820. They've also changed back attacks to no longer apply when attacking flame towers. They've also changed the HP of node forts for each tier in Occupation Wars. So Belenos and Serendia Fort HP is up by 10.5%. Medaya and Valencia, the node HP has gone down by 16.5%. And in the case of Camisylvia and Calphion, the node fort has gone up by 4.5%. They've also increased the DP of relics and monster spawning in War of the Roses by approximately 8.7%. They've also increased the DP of each faction's commander, Norchili and Scepter, in the War of the Roses by approximately 8% as well. Then they've added a new option to the escape menu settings that let you choose whether to receive notifications for guild members' enhancement and life skill levels up. They've added events UI to use the quick hotkey feature. They've also changed the following term in the territory occupation information from occupation period to since. They fixed the text on the entry button of the Edania boss subjugation UI to show the weekly quest completion status. If the weekly quest is incomplete, it's 1 of 1, and if it is complete, it's 0 of 1. They've also moved the Marnie Wave and boss notification from adventurer to function in the menu. They've also changed the icon name of the integrated event menu under menu and reward. And for gamepad mode, they've added Alan's Servant's landscape menu to the menu and also the ring menu. This should also now be activated and fixed. Let's see if it still comes up. Then we have in the system, when you set a waypoint to a far-off destination, the navigation will now guide you through the nearest abyssal well. So pretty much you can use this feature once you've completed the Magnus quest, and when you auto-run along a route that uses an abyssal well, your character will stop at the nearest well. From there, you can then use the abyssal well comms to teleport closer to your destination and continue your journey. Navigation will be disabled if you enter an abyssal well. They've also fixed an issue where changes to gear score from transfusing the following crystals were not reflected in karma calculations. So the Jinbon 1 Dawn Crystal, Black Spirit Rage, and Accuracy will now apply. So now when you attack an adventurer and lose karma, the amount lost will correctly reflect the difference in gear score between you and your target. Further, they've also changed it so that guild mounts are now managed more reliably when stabled or upon death. Web-wise, they've improved the display of recommended media label on the posts in the community forum leaderboards. Not leaderboards, community forum boards. Then we have some general modifications and changes. Overall, here we have the fixed issue where Alan's Servant's points would sometimes reset during loading screens. So the points will be reset. The same number of paint items used for recharging since August 28th maintenance have been reissued to your idle storage. They've changed the family buff description for Adana's Blessing to sound more natural. They also fixed some issues for adventurer names not being properly displayed in ring creator's name in the Rich Merchant ring messages, and some problems with Grogdalo. They also fixed an issue where lumen trays could not be obtained after performing Imperial delivery of Imperial steeds purchased from the Patrigio shop. Compensation will be given out to adventurers who registered horse emblems from the Patrigio shop between August 21st and September 4th. Granting items with a chance to obtain the lumen trace upon opening. They've also fixed some issues where the navigation of the Tideworn Gorge node was not so smooth, and general fixes for the Adana's Legacy of Battlefield not progressing, and in general some visual fixes. They also fixed an issue where dyes would occasionally not be applied to dying Edana armors. Some gamepad mode fixes, Crow's Nest Mercenary, they fixed awkward wording, and just in general, HP fixes for party members, and other gamepad mode fixes, and visual fixes on some sovereign deck and pen weapons. And finally, they fixed an issue where the catch rare fish effect from food or potions was incorrectly reflected as catch high quality fish. Going into the events, we have the return of the BDAcademy, or BDAcademy. That's going to run till September 25th. This time, apparently, you can choose your own class by speaking to Jatina and Velia and choosing the Enrollment Congratulations quests. You will get some Old Moon Fortune Scrolls. Then choose your house this time, it seems, and you will again get your class's unique title, which will be removed. However, the chair will remain, and you get the Old Moon class title boxes, which then allows you to choose the bottom titles at the bottom to show off extra. And depending on who gets the most seals during this time period, we will get 500, 400, or 300 Cronstones, and otherwise some enhancement help kits, magical elixirs, Golden Blessing of Agris, and a matching earring for your class that you joined. You can also grab a ticket in your challenge tab, which then allows you to choose the random or a specific life skill or grind, and you will then get the reward of the fall semester certificate seals. You also have some weekly quests from fall semester self-study with Jatina, so you take some time each week for self-study and earn great rewards. And there you also get more certificate seals, item collection increase scrolls, and Giovanni scrolls. And you can also log in every day for extra seals, and we can then exchange them through the currency exchange as we've come used to, with some preppy glasses being available as a, sort of free glasses set for knowledge games. Speaking of the next event, we have the Edania trading cards. This actually came up last month still. This is a event running till September 28th. Effectively, you create some trading card based cards for Edania. Only the front side needs to be designed. More cards are allowed but not required. Holographic designs are allowed. Stats, abilities, flavor text are optional but encouraged. Stats and abilities do not have to be balanced or fair. And you post your entries in the events section, Edania TCG plus region, and your optional title. There are some requirements. The printed cards will be 63 by 88 or 66 by 91, including bleeds. The aspect ratio is 5:7, DPI of 360. Color mode CMYK. File type, source file in PSD format will be requested from the winners. And bleed, file size must include a 3mm bleed, 1.5mm on each side, and you can download a template from the event. Art that was generated with the assistance of AI tools will also not be eligible and may result in suspension, and finalists may be requested to provide proof of progress, such as videos or images, to confirm no AI or plagiarism was involved. The winner overall will receive an Alienware Aurora 16 gaming laptop, and otherwise you also get some runners-up rewards for class pin of choice, Black Spirit plushie, or Black Spirit figurine. Then we have Trailblaze into the Fabled Land of Edania, a event running from now till September 18th. You need to get some knowledge on new Edanian fish and gatherables. So you grab one of the knowledge of the following rare fishes in Edania. The easiest one would be on the docks where you arrive. There's actually two available there, the golden striped soapfish and the redfin antheus. And you also need to get some knowledge on at least the following gathering resources: Caphras tree, spirit-laden Caphras tree, cliffside mountain sheep, golden leaf snake, or coral stoneback crab. Overall, the coral stoneback crabs you can kill a bunch and definitely get the knowledge quickly. Otherwise, the sheep are also available, and otherwise just gather some trees. But if you don't want to gather at all, just kill the cliffside mountain sheep and the coral stoneback crabs, and you should get that in no time. All adventurers who obtain at least one rare fish and gathering resource will then get some life enhancement health kits, magical elixir boxes, and 5 harmony drops of Edania. These rewards will then be distributed at September 18th. Weekend buffs are also available, so September 5th to 7th, you can grab the Wise Housekeeper reward, and again from September 12th to 14th, again. Then they've started another Pearls Blessings in September, so you get some major rewards as usual. Spend Pearls, get some extra outfits. You can check this out inside the Pearl shop. Pretty much the same as all the others lately. And then we get to the actual Pearl shop update. So we have the special coupon Pearl box, which is 10,000 acorns. You get 10,000 pearls with a 30% discount coupon and some extra loyalties as we've come used to. They've also added the Palooza of Papitudes, 10 types of emojis again. So we have some more Papu emojis coming for 975 pearls. They have a rare advanced bundle, 1 time per family. This is a gamble box, which is why it's not available in Belgium and Netherlands. This is available in a few versions. So we have the 3 times for 50% off, a single one, times 15 for 10% off, times 30 for 10% off, where you also get some mysterious treasure chest. Then you also have the 50 bundle, which is 15% off, but again, gamble boxes. You can gamble if you want to. I don't really think these are worth it. You might get lucky, but it might also just be money down the drain. 1 time per family, you also get the special premium pack, 80% off for 3,400 pearls for 5 premium outfits, and 7 days event Blessing of Old Moon and a 20% discount. This one definitely seems worth it if you're an outfit buyer. Otherwise, you have Artisan's Memory Pack as usual, 35% off. Artisan Memory Pack 2 for 30% off. A Quadra Made Pack, which is a bit unusual because we've had a few now. 35% off on that. The typical special training pack, which includes the standard reset mount growth, mount skill change coupons, level down tickets, and breeding resets. And that is it for the Pro Shop this week. Overall, no overall group discounts. And with that, I will hopefully see you in game and in stream. Take care.